Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Val's Corner. I'm your host, Valerie Bropleh, and you're having Corner Conversation with Val. So welcome back guys. We're on episode 2 of our relationship series. If you see me laughing, it's because I'm nervous laughing for the people I have on this episode.
For the people.
Unpack that.
So today I have my lovely friends for today's episode. We're talking about relationship from different POVs. So with me, you kind of seen 3 out of the 5 on this episode for different topics. But with me, I have Axel Watson. He's
Wawa Watson. Yes, sir.
And then to the right, we have the married POV. Axel will be the single POV, the guys. We have Miss Natalie and Jeremiah Rodriguez.
Bring me.
Yeah, she got the ring. She got the ring. Show the ring. Yeah,
Show that thing. I bought that.
And to the left of me, we have the dating to married couple, Becca Rodriguez and David Wilson.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Sir. Y'all getting engaged tomorrow?
Putting them on the spotlight. That's crazy.
I wouldn't do that to them. Hey, he gotta go through Pastor E first.
Yo, big
Good
facts.
luck.
Big facts.
Pastor
I
E
gotta
first.
talk to the big man first, you know.
So I have these amazing people with me who also humble me too many times to count. But we're just gonna have a discussion, and I'm gonna ask them some questions. But men, these single men, I didn't leave you guys out because last week we were speaking to the single women. But I got you guys a single man.
Yeah.
come
I'm here
on.
for the single man. Oh, my fault.
Why? He got he's representing. He's clearly excited.
He's just excited.
Yeah. I'll still be the single women point of view as well. But I just wanted you guys to hear from different POV that it doesn't matter your love story, as long as you have God the sender, everything will go smoothly. But it won't be. I said smoothly. I never said perfect.
That's good. That part right there.
That is good.
So I want to start with our single man.
Ooh,
Yo, come on, yo. That's the way to start,
what
yo.
we talking about, man?
So for you, Axel, walking your singleness. I know him personally. That's brother. So, but for those who don't know you, what is one word you describe your singleness, your single season? What is one word you would use, and why?
Yeah, I'll say it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. Been having like ups and downs my singleness season. Wouldn't say it's perfect, but been learning throughout. Like people that I talk to, then also like doing things in my spare time. So I'll say it's tough. I'm not gonna lie. This Christian walk, it's not easy. It's not easy,
Especially single.
but it is protective though.
Okay.
Like
Why?
once you follow like the process of everything, especially like the last couple months of just like actually like being to myself and like learning how to like to know what I'm looking for instead of just like looking with my eyes, like using my spiritual eyes when I'm looking for a relationship and even for my life.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because usually for Christians, the man that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, would you say compared to other seasons, what you look for in a woman has changed? Has it changed your mindset?
That's a great question.
Yes, it's most definitely. I'll say like even I'll say last year most definitely. There was a certain point, there was a person that I was talking to. It's been like for a few I was about to say minutes, but a few like years. We passed that boundary. Then it was to that point of like basically, how shall I say this? It was either them or God. And I was like, yo, I can't put you over that. Like, God is my foundation, everything. And that was the turning point for me. I was like, oh yeah, nah, it's too scary out here. It's like demonic. I was like, all right, you do your thing, I do my thing.
Okay.
Basically. And from there on, it got easier over time.
So
it changed my mindset in the way of like just focusing on God and looking at the principle that He set before us.
that's good. I like that. I like
That's
that.
really good. Dude.
I'm gonna flip the question to our dating and married ladies. So for you, because you're not married yet, not yet, you can't wait. But before you got with David, how was your singleness like? Were you in a position to be ready to date, or were you just like doing whatever you wanted? Did you prepare yourself in that before you got with David?
I don't think I would per se say prepared myself for a relationship, but I was like deep into God's word and His presence.
Okay.
And I remember before stepping into college, my dad's like, do whatever, just wait for the relationship thing. And I was like, you don't even got to worry about that. Like, that wasn't even on my mind. Like, I was so in tune with God that I was like, I don't even want that. Because I think, especially with this generation, it's such a want.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I don't need that. It's not a want right now. Like, I was so in depth with God that wasn't even a thought. But I will say, like, when He did come and we did start dating and everything, it made me realize, like, we jumped into this too soon.
Ooh, wait, hold that thought.
I will.
That's good, though.
But as far as preparing, I wouldn't say I was preparing for a relationship because I wasn't looking for one. But I think me staying in tune with God helped me to become the girlfriend that I had to become.
Ooh, that's good.
That's good.
For that good man.
Yeah, you keep that leg up.
One thing you're gonna hear about these men, they're gonna gas each other. They love each other.
My brother.
Of course.
Yeah, come on.
That's for the love.
That the one? Y'all want? Yeah. Miss Married. Oh gosh, she got lucky. She didn't even have to change her last name.
Yeah.
I
would just like to say I blessed her.
Amen. That's good.
But yes, Miss Natalie, same question. Do you want to repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay. For you, before you guys got together, before y'all started dating, would you say you prepared yourself to be in a relationship? But like to like a point, were you looking or were you just focused?
So necessarily before we got together, I wasn't looking.
Okay.
But I mean, being in previous relationships, like you figure out things that don't work, and you learn and everything. And the one before him, very abusive, like just constantly asking God, like, I need a way out, I need a way out, I need a way out.
Yeah.
Got my way out.
Yes.
But in that, like something my mom always told me before dating again, she's like, make sure you get in your word. Get in your word. The more you dive deeper into him, the more he's going to dive deeper into you. He's going to find you in that.
That's good.
So I started my true walk then.
Yeah.
Not that I've not always been walking with God, but actually like taking it serious and being like, all right, this is what, like, you called me to be this, let me go and find it now. And now not preparing to be a girlfriend only, but preparing to be a wife. So having to study that, diving deeper into my word, getting a better relationship with Christ, and then him coming and finding me. Because like he said before, I don't know who said it, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. I was trying to make myself that good thing first. As a girlfriend, too.
That's good.
But, yeah, that's all she wrote.
Okay. I'm still single. But. So, men, the question. The same question. Because, you know, you guys had to find the woman. So, we have
to find it.
God bless you. But for you men, what was it that you guys were doing to be prepared to find your wife? Like, what is it that, were you guys in your word? Were you guys going to seek her? Or because you were in your word, God led you to the women you have today?
That's a good question. So for me, personally, I think that I was not seeking her, but I was more so just seeking God and like just trying to dive deeper in my word as well. And I was at a stage of my life where, you know, I was on my walk with Christ for a couple years at the time, but I still was like trying to find out what my purpose is and things of that nature, and really trying to find out the grand scheme of like what God's plans were for me. And I think I was just trying to like dive deeper. But then it was like once I did see her, it's like I kind of knew instantly. But then God started like, you know, confirming it and stuff like that. So I don't think I really went searching, but it was like like, I don't know. I just felt so like, I just knew. Yeah. Like, God just gave me that assurance, like, right off the rip. Okay. So I think, just staying locked in with God.
Okay. Good. Pastor.
I think for me it was, and I don't think she knows, but Becca helped me out a lot, and she doesn't even know she did. I think during this time period, I'm gonna pass to the young adults, you guys know, and for those who don't know, I was in the middle of a situationship. You know, that's what I was doing at the time, and it wasn't until our blow up about the young adults ministry that I was able to go through a door and kind of like my faith walk, kind of like she said, and just slam the door and not go back. It's like one of those doors once you enter, there's no going back. Yeah. Right. So that was the thing for me. My intent was to stay single. Okay. Like I was messing around, I think for a year or two. More situationship, nothing serious. I think it was more so out of comfort or saying I have somebody, even though I'm very comfortable being by myself, but it was just comfortable. It was complacent. It served me. Yeah. If I wanted something, I got what I needed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Bro, just like Jacob sees so. That's good, bro. No, that's good. I was living in Old Testament times. I had to renew my mind.
He had to get his name changed.
No, that was good though, because that helped me. Yeah, that's the perfect way to put it. I was on like Jacob type time without God in it. You feel me? You know, I was trying to just do my own thing, what I wanted to do, running away from my calling and stuff like that. So I was involved in situationships, and then we got to a blow up about the ministry. And that really put things into perspective for me. I was like, who do I want to be? Like, what's the type of man I want to be? What's the type of man I want from my wife? Like, to really be the best version of myself. Yeah. So for me, it was just like, I wanted to be single. That's what I wanted, genuinely in my heart of hearts. I even told my work mom, I would say, Sharon, I was telling her, I was like, listen, my intent in this season is just to be single. Okay. And not even maybe 2 to 3 weeks later, she comes along. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. Not that it was a bad thing, but I was just like, yo.
She disrupted your peace.
Like, Lord, please. Lord, please. Like, Lord, please. I'm just trying to work, yo. I'm just trying to, you know.
Oh, you did the...
Yeah. But Lord, please, baby, you want me to?
Yeah, that's good.
So, I was doing that, but like as I'm entering that space, like one thing like I failed to do in the past was, yo, God, is this you? Yeah. Is this who you want from me? Like, is this the woman you want from me? Because I already did it my way. Yeah. I know how this works. When I want what I want and I get what I get, like it just never pans out. So like as long as you give me the green light, I'm good to go.
That's that good.
Part, yeah. Bro, that's that part.
That's good. What I got from all their answers is you need to be in your word and not go out seeking. Because then God, in your word, when you're with him, because he don't want to share us. So if you're not being selfish with him and just prioritizing just your relationship, he's not going to put someone in your life that would distract you from him. So you guys both, what it sounds like, all two couples, you guys were diving in your word and that when God gifted you that person. So it was a gift, which I'm going to take note of, you know.
Me too.
We're going to take note. And then just dive in our word and stay focused on God. Not saying we're going to do that so he could give us something. No, we're just being genuine with our relationship with God and putting him first. Because for so long, that wasn't the case. So, for you lovebirds, if you guys don't mind, we're going to start with you guys. You know, you're dating to marry. If you don't mind telling us a little bit of your love story, because I know their love story.
I don't know this in detail, so I'm gonna send that. Axel, how you do that?
I was there for some of it, but
he was fighting.
Ax was fighting.
He was fighting.
Ax was fighting for this union.
I only got the Spark No version. I'm trying to read the story.
Not much.
Depends on whose point of view you.
That's what we're gonna get both. Because if you talk to them separately, you get different how they start. So today you get to hear both in the same room. So I want to hear David's POV first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, hers is shorter, so
exactly. Short. That's why I'm having him go first.
Me first?
A man
because she's gonna be the cherry on top. Like that's done. That's
it. Mama, you found her.
That's it.
You found her.
We here.
Yeah, I could confirm some too.
So, when you were in your word, did God give you like her name, like Becca, or did you see her and felt like this the one, and then got confirmation eventually?
So when I saw her, I was immediately attracted to her.
She pretty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely, you know, I seen her. I think I seen you at the DH or something. But I seen her and I was already attracted to her. But I didn't know her at all. Like at all. I didn't know her principles. I didn't know anything about her. It was just like face value. And then I never really had an interaction with her until one day I was trolling with you in the caf. And
I helped.
You were part of it.
I mean, yeah.
A little bit.
You're the bridge.
She's an extra.
You've been doing this for millennium, so that makes sense. It makes sense. Yo.
She was an extra in the cast.
Yeah, I was an extra guy. All right, continue.
So basically, our first encounter was, I was trolling because at that time, we used to go around like, because our friend group didn't curse, so we would go around and people would be like, "Yo, you cursing?" Like, and so I was messing with Val, and I was like asking her, like, "Yo, you be cursing?" Pressing her.
I was cursing, guys.
Pressing her. Then out of nowhere, this woman come up to me and start pressing me, like, getting in my face and stuff like that. Like, "Yo, do you curse? Like, what is going on?" And I was like, "Whoa, like, what type of energy is this?"
It's probably like, I like her so much. She's so pretty.
Bro.
She corrected me.
That part, bro.
But she's angry.
Literally. And so I'm like,
I like that.
it was nice. It was nice, But I was like, so I'm like, all right, bro. That's when me and her had that first encounter. But even then, like, we didn't really get to know each other.
Yeah.
But then after time went on, I mean, I'm telling you, this story would take too long. Like
after a few hangouts.
After a few hangouts, yes. After a few hangouts, I got to see how she moved as a person, got to see her values, got to see, even when like just chilling in the dorm and like seeing her having scriptures on her wall and on her mirror and stuff like that, hearing her speak, I just began to like really fall in love with her is kind of extreme since we were still
intrigued
like,
by
I was intrigued. Yeah, I was
her.
very intrigued by like who she was as a person. Yeah. And then it started getting sticky once
for him.
For me. Yeah, it started getting sticky for me.
Yeah.
Once like I remember, all right, so yeah, this is when I knew. So one day I was in my room and earlier that day, long story short, I texted my dad. I was reading something in scripture, how David will always ask God about things, like always inquire of the Lord. And I'm like, yo, I want that type of relationship where I could just go to God and ask for like everything that's on my heart.
Yeah.
Obviously let him weed through the mess and be like, all right, you really need this, you don't need that. Yeah. But I'm like, I just want that connection, that intimacy with God. And so my dad texted me back, like, ask for everything you want. And I was like, what? I was like, bet. So that night, I just went crazy in my journal, right? And I was just like going ham, like asking, praying about like family, friends, like everything. And at the end, bro, I was about to say like in Jesus' name, amen. But I'm like, yo, he said everything, right? I might as well. So like at the end, I was just like, Lord, if it's your will, then like let Becca and I become like something serious, right? And after I said amen, bro, I kid you not, like the Holy Spirit literally like swept through my room so mightily. Like I literally was listening to the same song, like jumping up and down in my room for probably like 2-3 hours. Like I'm like, this is no gas. And it was like, I was so joyful because I knew that like God was saying like everything that you just wrote down, like it was like he stamped it. So that was the first like confirmation that I got, right? Yeah. And so I was like moving like different. I'm like, all right, I know. Like I know. She's like,
I want you and I like you.
Yeah. I want you
and I like you.
Yeah. Bro, so I kind of knew, right? But you see, this is when our human selves and our timing and God's timing just starts conflicting, right? So because I knew, I started trying to force things. Yeah. You feel me? And so I started pursuing and she like, whoa, pump the brakes, my man, pump the brakes. And she just always was so upfront with me. Ever since, like, you know, I first expressed my feelings for her, she was so upfront with me, just like, yo, I'm not looking for anything right now. I'm just trying to focus on my relationship with God. And that right there was like, I was hearing it, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, but I know though.
But I know it's
Like God spoke to me.
Yeah, like literally, I know though. And then literally like another day, this was like another like big part. Another day, like I just felt like I needed to write. And I like literally wrote about how in hindsight 2020, looking back, I realized that something that God told me I need to straighten up in my life in a dream the year before was really to prepare me for her. And so I really just started like writing out and like just thanking God for her. But the whole thing is kind of like, I'm just like walking through my journey of everything God did through my life, and then bringing me to meet her and then bringing me to her. You know what I'm saying? And having us cross paths and everything. And I'm like, at the end, I just ended off. I was just like, God, thank you for my wife. And again, I had like another like moment where I knew, like it was like I knew from God, like she's the one. You know what I'm saying? And I tried to go even harder. I'm like, all right, God, I got you. Like you taking a little long, so I got you.
I'm gonna leave you.
Yeah. So I started like really trying to like force it, and she was kind of getting like, now she was like, all right, like you really doing too much. You know what I'm saying? And we started butting heads a little bit. You know, I also had some friends in my ear. Yeah. Let's keep it a whole bean. Let's keep it a whole bean. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I wasn't there for that one.
He wasn't the bad seed whisperer.
But I had people in my ear like, bro, like, you know, like this girl wants you, and this girl, like this girl trying to get with you, this, that, and the third, and like, bro, like look at her, like, bro, she just tagging you along, bro, like she playing you, bro, and you have her, like just in my ear. And so I was starting to like, I would hear that, and then I would go back to her like, yo, you just playing me, bro. Like, and then it's like, now I'm getting tight.
It matters who is in your ear.
Yo, it definitely matters who's in your ear.
Had me fighting behind the scenes like that.
This man was fighting for me though. I'm not gonna lie. He was fighting for me.
Line.
But basically, you know, I was allowing people to get in my ear. And it was just starting up conflict, because them getting in my ear was like making me it was kind of distorting my perspective of who she is and like what season she really was in. You feel me? Because like she's really trying to get right with God and make sure like I don't want to move unless I know this is the guy you have for me. But meanwhile, I'm listening to people who don't really have that great of a spiritual life, if at all. And so they're looking from a natural lens, and they're just like, oh, now she's just like trying to play hard to get type of thing. And so that's what we started butting heads. And, you know, it's just so funny because speaking of Jacob, like I remember...
you know about that. You know about Jacob.
No. I remember like, not that type of Jacob. I remember telling her like one time, I was like, yo, like, bro, I'll wait. Like I was tight. Like I was like, bro, like you keep like doing all the procrastinating, but I was like, bro, I'll wait. Like I don't care. I'm on my Jacob time. I literally pulled it. I was like, bro, I'll wait. Like, cause I know. You feel me?
How long did you wait?
How long?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Not bad,
So I definitely wasn't on my Jacob.
Better than Jacob.
Yeah. Shout out Jacob. That man's real. But yeah. So I was like butting heads with her, but eventually we got to that year and a half type of mark, and it got to the point where she did, like, I would think she flirted with me, but I'm like, nah, bro, because like I assumed she was before in the past, so I'll be like, nah, this can't be real. You know what I'm saying? But then she would be like placing the cards on the table, like it is, but I'm like, nah, it can't be real, because I didn't want to. I was afraid of getting my hopes up, because I'm like,
yo, he's like, yo, I got like 5 more years on my docket. Like,
literally, bro. So I'm like, nah, this can't be. But eventually, like, we got back on campus, going into the COVID year, so going into 2020, we got back on campus, and you know, it was like we just kind of like grew closer. Like, and it was weird. Like, it didn't even have to be on anything intimate.
Yeah.
It was just like our bond just grew like as friends. Like, cause that's a big thing. We were really friends, like friends before we ever like started our relationship. And so I feel like our friendship really grew, and we really were able to like see each other for who we were. And that just kind of like kicked off us starting to talk, and then eventually, you know, she gave me the whole, you know, I'm not dating you unless you talk to my dad. So I was like,
let's slow down.
That's good, yo.
Wait. What are we going to? Like, what
You going too far.
Oh, all right,
like,
bet.
I just asked for the spark note.
All right, bet. Yeah.
My man gave the whole novel. Part 2 coming out next year.
My fault.
Not you. Right. Like, he taking the whole time.
Yeah, she got the spark note.
Exactly. You're short.
Yeah.
In that moment when he was pining over you, like making it like, I want you. I need you.
All right, bro. Like,
You're my wife. I need you. And like, you're my wife. Like, what's going through your head this whole time while he's over here professing his love for you?
Honestly, I wasn't bothered. It wasn't until people were obviously in his ear saying all that stuff. But I was straight up like, all right, I met you, right? And when I met him, everyone just kept saying, oh, it's the kid who always posts scriptures. And that's cool, but like, just because someone say they're a man of God doesn't really mean it.
Listen, repeat that for the single ladies.
You repeat it. If someone says they're a man of God, that does not mean they're a man of God, whether they're in the church or not. You need to see their fruits. So he told me he got confirmation. I'm like, okay, good for you. But like in my head, I'm like, I need to know we serve the same God. So if he gave you confirmation, he's gonna give me confirmation.
Exactly.
So I was like, I'm not moving because he didn't tell me anything. So I was genuinely chilling. I mean, obviously the process was easier for me because again, it wasn't a want or a need for me.
Yeah.
It was him struggling, going through it. Sorry.
My man was in the room crying. Like, why don't she want me?
He was going through it.
conflict. Straight conflict.
And Axel was holding the line for him. He was,
My brother fighting. My brother fighting.
That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's what
Tireless.
See?
again,
Put my weapon down.
You on your Nehemiah. I can't be distracted right now.
So, I know a little bit you guys love stories, so I'm going to ask Nats first, because this is a little different. You got Ram. We got a woman in charge this time.
Wow. What is that?
Charge.
That's good.
Go ahead.
Tell him.
So,
Tell him.
for you, Nat, just a spark note of you guys getting together.
Okay.
Spark note, not Davis version.
Yeah, I just probably spoke for like 20 minutes. I'm not gonna.
She got it.
I tried
you had to
first.
She tried
I went
first.
for it first. I shot my shot, and it made it.
Yeah, you
backboard.
definitely did.
Backboard.
With the backboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made it in there.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, nah. Like,
Wait, so
I
it
can't
didn't make
do
it in. You shot, it hit the backboard.
No. Like,
Oh.
it was, woo, it started, you know when it's...
Oh, yeah.
Baby, that's a good analogy.
And
And then he's like, no.
oh, okay, all right. And then it bounced.
Like, no,
He didn't mean it.
I don't see you like that.
I
It's
meant
fine.
it.
And then I jump down. I'm like, you know what? Damn, I'm gonna try again. So I do it. It's swirling. No.
All right.
It's not you. It's me.
Wow,
Came out
Jerry.
again. So I'm like, you know what? Fine. I'm just gonna sit back. Either I'm gonna wait or I'm gonna turn evil. One of the two.
Wow, she.
Just honestly be real.
Yeah. Either I'm gonna wait or I'm gonna be evil and do me.
Right.
Yeah.
I did it before I could do it again.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I get a text message. Not even 2 seconds later, after I'm having a whole dispute with God. I'm like, you said, but I'm over here in my word. I'm trying. Am I helping you a little too much? Like, what am I doing?
That part.
That's good.
Literally 2 seconds later, I get a text message. She's like, I miss you. I said, who this? I said, this you or you? Which one?
That's tough. That is tough.
I'm a little confused now. I'm
Confusion.
literally sitting there laughing. I was like, you know what? I might take a minute to respond. And then I just remember telling, like, I spoke out loud. I said, God, if this is not you, I need you to remove him. If it's you, he stays. Mm-hmm. And he does the work. I just sit down and look pretty.
Yes. Yes, let them know.
If it's not you, take him out.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to be where you want me to be. I want to be with somebody that you want me to be with.
Yeah.
You take control of the whole situation. You figure it out for me.
Yeah.
So whatever, I answer back. I'm like, oh, I miss you too, I guess. No, I was like, all right, I folded. I was like, I miss you too. And then we got into a whole conversation. But before that, before I actually like shot my shot, this one, I'll let him tell a story. But he was,
He looks nervous.
You know how he'd be messing with people
Michael Jackson.
and like making fun of them? It was a little extra. And I was like, I found it a little weird. I was like, oh, all right. It's a lot more than normal. He would like follow me around in the hallway and like bother me. I'm like, okay. Good morning to you too. And then that day, I had a babysit. It was at the women's one of the women's conferences. I think the very first one. I had a babysit. We were still texting back and forth. I was like, this is a lot longer than normal because we've always been friends.
Yeah,
good friends at that. Like talk. Like he would always encourage me every once in a while. Like we would check up on each other. Him more checking up on me because you know what? He had a front row to my mess. A nice front row.
That's true story.
It's real though. He had a front row to my mess, so he would always check up on me and be like, "Yo, why are you doing this? Like, what are we doing?"
I tried to save her at one point.
I try to save you too.
Yeah. She right.
I like that. Being there for each other. I like that.
But yes, we would always keep each other accountable. Very good friends. But yeah, I did try first.
Okay.
Succeeded.
A little
Not
bit.
succeeded. One foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. But
You try to help God too much.
I tried. I was like, David, I tried to help.
Yeah.
Because I've always been attracted to him, not in a way of like look appearance, but soul wise. Like his demeanor has always attracted me. Like,
It's a blessed man right there.
yeah, exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Blessed
He's
man.
always been
That's-
somebody
that's-
that just
Almost.
like everybody's attracted to him in
Yeah.
that sense that like they can go and talk to him and he's just real. Like he's very real with you. So I've always loved that about him. So when I started feeling that, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Like
That's suspicious.
when I started feeling like actual feelings for him, I'm like, that's really that's suspicious. That's weird. Like, no, take it away. Like, take it away.
Well, I know that.
It would subside and it would come back, and I'm like, all right, let me stop dancing with the idea and just try. Like,
yeah.
the worst thing he could say is no.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
So of course, me getting rejected twice.
Wow.
She reminds me daily.
Twice.
Twice.
I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna wait this time.
Good job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. If it's true, if it's from God, like I know it is, he's gonna come and he's gonna find me, and that's it.
She knew before he knew. Amen.
I did actually. My mother knew.
Oh, Master Cindy.
Mommy always
Yeah.
knew.
She saw it before. She was like, "Is there something going on?" I said, "No."
No.
I was like, "Why? You saw something?" I was like, "You saw something?" Because I don't. What do you mean? Because of course the idea was already in my mind.
Yeah.
The likeness started happening already.
Yeah.
And of course, like when things come out into light and you try to conceal it, you're like, no,
Your body acts it out.
Yeah.
like the body language. That's,
Yeah.
And we both are terrible at hiding like
Yeah.
I'm the worst.
things.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
absolute
worse than
worst.
I am.
I'm terrible.
You can tell when he's lying. You can tell
I
when
knew
he's mad
before
at
he
you.
did, but God didn't speak to him fast enough.
Wow.
See,
No,
God-
I'm kidding.
I mean, hey, she shot her shot. She didn't make it, but she let God take over, and now she
I
got the
did.
ring.
That part.
So
Right.
we're not discouraging you ladies to shoot your shot, but be wise and let God do it for you. All right,
That's good.
Phenomenal.
go ahead. You
That's
rejection
okay.
twice.
Yeah, it was rejection twice, right? So
Was.
like
Why?
she's-
Very
like
sad.
why? So
Why'd you reject her?
there's a few reasons why I rejected her at first. Well, we were both one. We both had situationships
Okay.
going on at the time.
Okay.
And like she said, like she, am I lying? I'm not lying. I don't lie.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. So at
What
that
was the
time,
question?
at that time period, right?
Kidding.
So we had situationships, and at that time period, I had gotten over mine. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna be single, right? And then at this point too, because of the situationship, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna do me or whatever. And then it's like she said, we would keep each other accountable. So in the midst of her situationship, I'm like, hey, what you doing?
Yeah.
Like I was like, be careful the game you're playing because it can harm you. And And this what puzzled me, right? It was the response for me. What
are you talking about?
She was like, what game? I'm like, my immediate response, I didn't tell her this. Like, she knows now, but I didn't text her this. I was like, the hell with you then. I'm trying to save you. The fact that you try to play dumb with me, all right, bet. Say less. I don't say I didn't try to save you, right? So time goes on or whatever. And we're at the, and during this time period, I'm noticing we're texting a little longer than usual. Okay. And usually it's just, and it was nothing, it was innocent. It was just like, oh, how you doing? And just kept on, conversation kept getting longer and longer. And I always found it odd. I was just like,
that's suspicious.
I was like, when you can end this? Am I going to end this or are you going to end this? Like, where's this going to chop off? But we just kept talking. I was like, okay, cool. And then it was just the very first women's conference. I'll never forget. She looked good to me. She still looks good all the time. And she was wearing this yellow dress. And I peeped. In my mind, I was like, Lord.
That dress don't fit no more.
I remember.
She can't recreate it.
I remember I was looking at her. I was like, Lord. I was like, Jesus, please. I was like, I don't want to enter my old habits. Like I don't want to go to my old ways. You made me a new creature. You know what I mean? Like, I was baptized on good. You know what I mean? Baptized. So like we would talk, and then I start flirting with her, like she said. Like I started making fun of her. That's my way of flirting. Yeah. Right. Especially, and then during the time period when I'm like trying to flirt with her, she thinks I hate her because I'm making fun of her. But that's the way of flirting. That's my way of flirting. She was like, she wasn't understanding. So I had to keep reiterating, like, yo, like if I make fun of you, that means I like you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And even friendship as well. If I make fun of you, it's because I rock with you.
He bullets me.
Yeah.
That's good.
With intent. I'm trying to make you better. You know what I mean? It's context. You see, brothers. So like, I'm trying to remind her. So she's like, okay, all right, cool, whatever. Because she's just thinking I hate her though. So I was like, no. This means I like you. If I don't make fun of you, then you got something to worry about. I mean, I don't really rock with you like that. So, as we start talking more, I start asking raw questions. Okay. Because like she stated, I had a front row seat to her situationship. And not that she had a front row seat about mine, but she knew about mine. Okay. So I was just like, okay. And then one question was, and the reason I rejected her twice, I was like, all right, let's hypothetically say we were to start something. Yeah. What makes you think I'm going to trust you? Like what makes you think I'm going to trust you? You explain to me why. And I remember her response. Her response was like, "That's a great question." Phenomenal question.
It was a real question.
It was a real question because I was just tired of doing my way. Yeah. And I was just tired of just getting into things I didn't belong into because I was thinking with the wrong head, you know? Yeah. And I was just like, yo, let's have a conversation. Like, what makes you think? Yeah. And she was like, you know what? That's a fair question. Mm-hmm. And let me explain why. And we just had a conversation over time. And then I was like, all right, cool. We're going to try this thing. Let's date in private. Okay. Let's see if this thing really works. And like she said, I'm terrible. I am so bad at lying or trying to front like it's secretive. Like I'm so bad.
There would be times,
yeah, exactly. My dad did too.
See, we were just talking. We all knew there's something going on.
He's extra nice to her. Yeah. He's worried.
My dad peeped, and then I remember everybody was coming over, and I had invited her, and here come Becca, your girlfriend coming, and I was like, yeah. I didn't hide it anymore. I was like,
we were just talking about that. I said, you want to know how everybody found out? I said, one, because you're terrible at hiding stuff. I said, and two, was it your graduation party?
Yeah, it was at the graduation party. It was her graduation party.
At
our house, the volleyball game.
Yeah, the volleyball game. Yeah. And he had asked me if I was okay, and then out of nowhere, like a flip switched, and he was just like, "Oh, you look really good. Like you look really pretty today." And Val turned around. She said, "Huh?"
Honestly, I remember that the triplets at the time they did the same ring.
They asking us. We didn't know for sure yet. They're like, no,
because they had a front row seat to that too. I was like, oh man, I just realized what I did. So I'm like terrible.
He tried fighting me. He was like, no. I said, Jay. I was like,
I don't remember it.
I said, Val, her eyes literally could have bulged out of her head. It would have fell out of her head. I said, she turned around so fast. She was like,
and then I didn't know. You know what's funny? And then obviously you guys know I said at the sound booth or whatever. And then she would pass by me and like say hi. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Like David, right? So I was just like, all right, cool. So we started David in private. And I was like, all right, this thing's gonna work. Let's date in private. Let's see, like, if I were like you really like me. Let's see this is a real thing. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, we started dating. And first, I don't want to get into too much detail because it depends on your question. Yeah. But I did ask her father for permission before I dated her. So I mean, It went
It worked out. They're married.
It went from
guys.
2 rejections to now we married.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Maybe
saying.
I should shoot my shot.
I mean, you can shoot your shot. But listen, every time she remind me that I rejected her, I'm like, what's on your finger? A ring? Oh, okay. All right. Like, my fault.
Yeah, my fault.
My fault.
I got the ring.
Hey, man.
I like that. See, that's cute. So we had 2 different love stories, but what the most important part was God was in the center of it all. That's why it worked out.
Yeah.
But so I like that. It was so cute. So for you, lovely couples, from the point, like from the naked eye, people think, wait, their relationship's perfect. Like they look good. Like they look good together, not they look good individually. Let's get that one. But
You look good.
what advice?
David, you look good, bro.
Thank you, bro. You too, bro.
Thank you, bro.
This is not a gas fact. Like that's so mad sweet.
Yo,
Like,
I-
this is
Bro,
kinda-
wait, you forgot to tell about our love story.
no.
That's a raw story.
I'm not telling your love story. Anyway, see what I mean, guys? I told you guys to pray for me.
Brotherhood.
Having them all together in one spot is very dangerous for me. But would you guys say you go through struggle? Because so many times as Christian, everyone think your relationship is perfect just because you have God at the center. So would you guys say, like, even before you guys got married, even before you guys started dating, or even when you were dating, were there some struggles you guys faced that you weren't prepared for, but you were shocked because you had God?
Thank you for asking. Sorry.
The ones who are in relationships. Yeah, you single. No. That's a different
That's a
one.
good relationship.
That's the one. That's the most important. Yeah.
That's
the first and
phenomenal.
There
foremost.
shouldn't be struggles. There shouldn't be struggles in that.
Not this struggle.
There's
He
struggles.
promised
Your
struggles.
flesh struggle.
No, not with him. Not
He
with
promised- he
him.
promised-
Not with
There's
him.
gonna be struggles.
With us, not with him. But anyway, so do you see what you're doing?
My fault. Go ahead.
Yes. What you guys say to the naked eye? Because everyone thinks Christian relationships are so perfect. This and that. What would you say to that couple? One at a time.
I would say being equally yoked, that makes it a lot easier.
For those who don't know what that word
All right,
is.
so equally yoked, you come from the same, you have the same beliefs, right? Same Christian beliefs. You believe in the same God, but having that same belief definitely helps. It helps build a foundation, and you're not building on house on potential sand that you can blow away. Excuse me. But it's not sunshine and rainbows. Like you still have to work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think one struggle for me was communication, especially when I got angry. I tend to bite my tongue a lot because I don't want to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
And I tell her that all the time. And I could have handled it a little differently. Like, so if we got into an argument and I knew I was going to be disrespectful or say something I was going to regret, I would bite my tongue. I would ignore her and then just leave. I would just be out. Just because, again, I didn't want to disrespect her or have to be like, yo, listen, I'm sorry for calling you X, Y, and Z. Like, there's no need for it.
Yeah.
So I'd rather bite my tongue out of respect for you and just be about my business. So I think it was more so communication, and you could speak on it too, on my side, as far as like why like I was angry. Because she would tell me, hey, like, you can at least tell me like, hey, I'm mad. I don't want to talk about it right now. And that's an approach I never took because I just, don't bother me. That was it. I was just impatient. Don't bother me. Okay. You know what I mean? So like for me, it had to be that. It was like a correction on both sides. She would correct me. She was like, hey, do this and we can communicate a little bit better. So at least I know to leave you alone. I'm not, because she just wants to resolve. She's like me. We want to resolve things right here and then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, let's not let things linger. Let's resolve it right here, right now. But I wasn't trying to have it. I was just like, please leave me alone.
Sometimes you need space to cool
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
a little bit. Just a little bit. For you guys, what are some of like, not some of the struggles, but like a struggle or something? Like where folks perfect.
Well, for me, at least, I think one of our main struggles is, although we both have relationships with God, we grew up very differently. As far as he came from a one-parent household, I came from 2. So there was a lot of things, even going into the relationship, and this is where communication lies too, because I went in expecting so much. He went in not being able to see what should come with a relationship. Okay. So that caused a lot of like friction between us, and it took a lot of let's just teach each other instead of, because there were a lot of arguments, obviously. Yeah. But then when you get to the root of it, of, oh, you just don't know. Yeah. And I don't know either. We're both like very new to this. So it took a lot of communication and working through like, let's get to the root. Okay, you react because of this. I react because I grew up this way.
So you guys were pretty much just learning from each other.
Yeah.
Because I know for you, Beck, I don't want to speak, but like this is your first like real relationship. And would you say the same thing?
Yeah.
So you guys were coming from like a brand new perspective. So there's gonna be arguments. It's gonna because you're learning about each other. So it's gonna take a push.
Time.
Yeah.
That
And
too.
time and patience. Okay. So doing your like your arguments and things like that, like how did you guys navigate that? Like trying to like how long did it like take you guys to figure out like hey, this is our upbringing, like it's not just him, like he has deep issues.
You got that?
Honestly, like some things were kind of surfaced earlier, and some things took longer to surface. And I think that goes to like, so we gotta keep it 1,000 on here, right? So we all know about the honeymoon phase, and all you see is like the best thing in the other individual, right? And it's like,
just
oh my gosh, like this is the greatest person I've ever met. They have no flaws. They do nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
like you literally like
Just have hard eyes.
Yeah, you just have hard eyes for the person, and I think that like something that happened with us is like we really went through a refining period. Where I think stuff that both of us thought that we got through, or stuff that, for me personally, just stuff that I thought I overcame, would start to like surface, and I would see it, and I'm like, nah, that's the old me though. Like, what the heck? Like, but like these arguments and stuff like that would like bring it out, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like one of those things that it really is a blessing, but it's a blessing if you pay attention to it. If you keep trying to deny it and like push it to the side, that's when it can get messy, because now you're not dealing with your issues. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
And so personally, I feel like it took a while for us to get through a lot of our issues. And going back to what she said, it's just the mentality. Not only was it we grew up differently, just my mentality towards a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially in my personal life, and what I thought like a man was, and how he should act, and how he should pretty much like carry out. Like I always thought, you gotta take care of yourself first before you could take care of another person, and you gotta chase your dreams and all of this and that, that the world tries to promote.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend, your wife, a distraction. Your family, a distraction. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's like toxic.
It's like bad,
it's bad. And I think that I was carrying that type of mentality into finally a godly relationship. You know what I'm saying? And it's like it was causing friction. And I respect her because she respected herself. She respected her relationship with God, and she was in the Word. She has a great example at home, so she knows what is the standard.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And it's like, although I'm like, yo, I'm making this standard though. She like, nah, bro, like this is where you can really reach. And it wasn't until honestly like fairly recently that I really realized like, yo, all the time that I'm thinking in my head, yo, she's just on me, bro. Like she can never see like what I'm doing right. Like it's always, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like recently God had to show me like, nah, like she really does. Like she sees the value in you. She sees the potential in you. And it's like, you're getting upset that she's trying to pull it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it hurts.
Yeah.
It may hurt.
It may hurt.
So yeah, so I really I love and I respect you.
Shout out to Noodles, yo.
Yeah.
It may hurt. It may hurt. It really might.
It really hurt. It did hurt.
It definitely hurt.
Not a might. It did hurt. I like that. That's growth. Yeah. I respect it.
The man.
You got a story, Act?
Nah.
You sure?
Do you have something like hearing all of this from single mindset? Like, are there some points you would take into your into the relationship, not next?
Bro, tell me about the videos I send you on the daily.
No.
I'm trying to guide you, bro.
Is it leading you astray?
No.
He watering the seed.
Nah, some things it's good watering. He's watering the seed good. But nah, it's I definitely relate to that one because it was one girl I was talking to like I'll say like 2-3 years ago. It's around the same thing where like I was struggling. She was like, oh, like X, Y, and Z, like her expectation. And I was like, bro, what? Like I was like, what you mean? Like, stuff like that. Like, but it was like some things like I was learning and growing from, but then it was certain other things which was like he said, like, y'all need to be like evenly yoked.
Yeah.
So like there was certain things we were just like butting heads and it wasn't working out. But like I definitely relate to that one of like trying to meet like the expectation because like you don't see the other side.
Yeah.
Because you only see it from one side of like a single mom, from mine experience. So like certain things you don't really see like acting out like your Valentine's Day, seeing them going out, stuff like that, or even like seeing like certain conversation in the household, like that even like take into a part too, like how they handle things and like I don't know if like immigrant parents or something like that, but like they don't really dive deep of like talking about relationships.
That's true.
All the time is like don't have sex, like.
No, nothing.
That was just like
that's the bar. As long as you're not having sex,
Life is
it didn't matter.
Like,
It didn't matter.
Don't
what
have
else
sex,
you do.
no babies. Like
That's
you
it.
do what you want. Like just
That's it.
talk, blah blah blah, and stuff. And that was it. Never really get taught like who you should look for and stuff like that. So there was another period when I was doing my singleness season. Like I really watched like Mike Todd, the Relationship Gold series. Like oh my god,
It's a good series, though.
yeah, that was really good. That's where I got most of my notes from. So. But it's still more notes I got to add on top of that.
Yeah.
But most definitely, it was that like having to work on those, and it's even hard when. Well, I shouldn't say it's not hard. I say I'm doing it now with my mom.
Okay.
So I'm taking that opportunity of like trying like those arguments or everything. I'm like learning that to deal with her. So like when we have arguments, like learn to cool down with like what to say and everything, and try and bring like everything to like a neutral ground and try to like split it up from there. Because from that point you work on it, now you can move on to the next person.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Smart,
yeah.
man.
While you were talking, I got a question. Because I know you guys both come from different backgrounds, and you two, because they're siblings. They're Rodriguez. They're siblings. So for you guys both come from single household like homes. You come from two. You two. You came from two. You are from two. Not came from. You are from two parent household.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys can answer it like Joy, and then you can say something on it. For those who said this is how I was raised, I'm not changing. What would you say to guys with that type of mindset that come from like the one parent household, like, bro, like this is hard, like you don't like how like you guys thought, like you're in my face, like, bro, I'm not changing, like this is how I was growing up, this is what I see. What would you say to guys or females with that mindset? Because I'm very proud of you guys. You guys broke it. Yes. Yes. So like, what would you tell those like men or women? Like, you can speak for the men.
Like you definitely gonna miss like your blessing and opportunities if you don't try to grow from. Like take the opportunity to grow, basically. Like moving out type of mindset, like bro. Like you gonna mess up like so much. Like I can't even like. Go ahead, David. You take
like literally,
I
like
can't.
because
literally, like it'll just have you like it's like fumbling on the 1 yard line. Like you could have like the perfect person for you and be ready to just ruin it all because you can't break out of whatever it is you've seen growing up. And it's like that type of mindset is really bondage. Like, and I just pray that like that more and more men and women find ways to like, keep their relationship together. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like have healthy marriages and stuff like that, because the damage that it does isn't just to the two people that are in marriage. Like the damage goes down to the kids. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you have to be willing to humble yourself, because it's really a pride thing. Because I remember like it was me and Axe, like we would have both of them, like and other friends at the time. They would be like, "Yo, a man's supposed to do this, that, and the third." We like, what?
What you mean? Then we talk about the gifting, like learning their love language,
dating, all that stuff.
Like we used to have arguments with them too. Like, what do you mean? I have to do this too? like, she needy.
Yeah, we were just like, bro, they doing too much. Like, that's too much to ask. Like, why is that necessary?
Or it would be like
Right.
that's social media. That's
Literally.
Yeah. We would be like,
the dates thing. I
No,
said,
it's a
yo, like,
date.
you should be able to take me on a date. He would be like, still social media. Like, that's not real.
No, or the Valentine's Day conversation. It took him so long to believe you still have to ask
I'm
your
so proud of y'all.
girlfriend to be your Valentine. We were sitting there screaming like, it don't matter if she's your girlfriend, bro. You still gotta ask her. They're like, bro, what else I gotta do now, bro? Like, she's already
bro,
my
I already
girlfriend.
asked her out. Like, I'm gonna ask her Valentine every year. Like, nah, bro.
Gonna be older. Like, I asked her out and
Like, is it like? I'm so proud of you guys. I really am proud of you guys.
Came a
You guys,
long way.
y'all came so far, and but it also like goes to like you guys put in the work as well. You guys didn't stay stuck in that mindset. You know, they're from the trenches as well. They didn't stay in the trenches mindset.
No.
You gotta let them know.
Yeah, you gotta let them know.
Yeah,
Like they didn't stay in that mindset,
mindset.
which I'm very proud of. Because so many guys like talking to other people at work and stuff, they have that mentality of where I'm from this. I don't care. I'm sticking to my background. Like she's either gonna have to ride this with me or she's leaving, and that could ruin something really great. What if that was the person for you, but because you want to stay stuck in that, this is where I'm from, tough guy act. Now you lost someone really great. So break it.
And like another thing I want to point out too, like going back to what he said, like the whole friends thing, like being your ear and stuff like that. Like no matter how much like you off social media, blah blah blah. But like if the people around you keep pouring that seed and water in it, like that could also have an effect too. Like so many times hearing my ear like day and night, like, bro, like why should you like do that to a girl? Or like even like I remember one time my boy, he was talking to this girl and they were talking about like where like simple like where to go out to eat. And they were like, yo, you better take her to McDonald's or something. Like I kid you not, like yeah, like I was like, dang, like well, I mean I didn't say dang at the time, but thinking back at it, I was like, yo, like it's just like too much. It's like you gotta relearn everything.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro.
Unlearn to relearn.
Yeah.
Literally, that's
Literally.
the process.
That's the hard part.
Pain.
That's the one that will hurt.
Yeah.
That will hurt you. But you have to be willing to endure the pain.
And see, for me, like my perspective is different, right? If I can like kind of rebuttal what you guys say, and obviously you guys come from a different background than I do, but I think if you decide like mentally to stay there, you're saying out loud, I'm not trying to grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you always have to adapt. Like you have to grow. You have to be willing to. The moment you stop growing, they usually say you just die. Because then you got nothing else to give to anybody. Yeah. For me, it was a different perspective. Like I had, 2-parent household. I still have a 2-parent household.
My question, Pastor.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead.
I was going ahead of women.
No, it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My fault, Val. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ask me the question.
Oh my goodness. For you, was it more? Because I know sometimes trying to imitate your parents, like you've seen their relationship, it looks good for you too. Was it a positive influence on your relationship or was it negative?
So back to what I was saying.
Yes. That's a clear thought.
That's what I was saying, right? So we were both blessed to have 2 parents in the household. But for me, from my parents, like I saw what a healthy relationship looked like, but I also saw what it looked like when it got dirty. And you had to work. You know what I mean? So like coming into a relationship, having the perspective like, oh, this requires work.
Yeah.
Like, and I also have, thank God, we both have parents who like adapt with the times. If there's like, no, for real, yo. No, because think about it. Because
Adaptable.
you be having parents who like, they're old school and they stay in the old school mindset.
Yeah.
Now, my parents are always finding different ways to be better themselves, like come up with different ideas, come up with different methods, because you can always find a better method.
Yeah.
So like for me, it was always easy to be like, all right, now in the stage I'm in, all right, cool. This is how you used to do it. How can we do it better? Like, all right, cool. This is the blueprint you gave me. How can I put my flavor on it? You know what I mean? So that way it can flourish the way we need it to, not the way y'all needed to. I think that's the part too, because we try to take stuff from our parents, like, oh, it worked for them. But I think you said it one Sunday in different seasons, it's gonna require different methods. Right? So like for me, it was easy to be. I mean, I've been in multiple relationships. Obviously, some that were never meant for me, and finally my queen, right? But now I can adapt to certain different things. Now I'm just like, okay, you need this from me? Okay, cool. It's not even a second thought. You know what I mean? Y'all both said like, I wish I was part of those conversations where you guys are like, yo, seriously, what? That's what y'all require? But if you think about it, if like we go biblical, like you have to see your bride as a church,
Yeah.
right? She is a church. So if she's a church, I gotta treat her with the utmost respect. I gotta shower her, because if Jesus died on the cross for the church, what more should I do for her, right? So, like, and it's hard to understand that perspective when you're young. You're not thinking about that.
We definitely
like, y'all don't got a job. I don't got this. You want all this and this.
Right, like,
You know what I mean? But like for me now, it's just like I want the best for her. You know what I mean? Even no matter how angry, no matter if I'm upset with her or vice versa, like we want the best for one another. Like I want to make sure she's good. I want to make sure she's loved. I want to make sure, like she knows that just because of what I used to do, to get her attention, I'm still gonna do that in marriage. You know what I mean? Like that's. I just want her to know I always love her, and there will be nobody besides her.
Period.
You know what I mean? So that's just me.
Hold up.
Now, one thing I was gonna say is that like I had like the same mindset of that, but it wasn't until like I trust that person to like fully know if like we in it for the long run.
Yeah.
So like it was always there, but then like in the beginning, like I wasn't doing that.
No, I don't want to rebuttal what you said too. Like, and I'm not saying rebuttal as in like you were wrong or whatever, but I think the people that surround you, I think that's extremely important, right? I think for me, it was easy because my parents always told me every time I left the house, especially my mom, you're a leader, not a follower. You're a leader, not a follower. It got to the point where I was like, all right, I get it. I'm a leader, not a follower. I got it. Right. So, but like when people try to give me advice, I would question it. It wasn't like I took it for Bible. I was just like, that don't sound right. No, I'm gonna question that. I know you my boy, but I'm gonna question that because you steer me the wrong way. Then what you gonna say? Sorry, you know what I mean? Like, and then don't get me wrong, I had my moments like that, but also as I got older, I was just like, nah, I'm good, yo. Like I would hear you, right, and I'm like,
wisdom.
I'm good. You know what I mean? Like because like you you can take sound advice from people, right? I'm not saying don't have a mentor, but you have to have the principle of exception, which simply suggests that, what happens with them does not dictate or determine what happens with me. Yeah. Right? So, like, what may have worked for my parents or don't work, like, the thing I get all the time, especially in the gym or people, oh, you getting married? Oh, you entering prison, huh? Yeah, and they would say it as a joke. Yeah. They would say it as a joke, and then they would tell me, they'll backhand and be like, yo, no, it's a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing, right? And it's just like so weird to me. It's like, all right, y'all probably went through some stuff, and people gave us advice, and I'm just like, no, I guarantee we'll go through some stuff, but I'm never going to look at it as a prison. I'm always going to look at it as like, this is awesome. I have my person I'm going to do life with. I don't got to second guess it. I don't got to be something else that I'm not. I could be my true authentic self. I could be my goofy self. And she knows that. She's like, yo, you're just so funny. I'm just like, what? I'm just having a good time, yo. I'm just having a good time. But like, that's the thing. Like, I can take bits and pieces that work for me. But like, at the end of the day, like, I have to shift from my perspective. Yeah. What does this look like for me? And what do I want it to look like?
Yeah.
That's good.
Could I say something real quick?
Of course.
So another thing is like going back to like who's in your ear. Yeah. So when we were talking, right, and I had people in my ear, I realized that it was getting us into arguments, right, and it was like messing me up. So what kind of happened with me was like I just shut everyone out. So I started shutting everyone out, and then there was a time last year, right, that I did open up to two of my close friends, Bam and Coop. And now these are completely different people because these are people who are Christian and also who one was married. They're both married now, but one was married at the time. The other one was engaged. And so their mindset was way different than mine. So, when I started venting to them, I thought they was gonna be like, "Yeah, bro, you right, like you right, like the way Axel had my back." I thought they was gonna be like, "Bro, you right." But it was literally like the exact opposite. Like they was like, "What?" They were like, "Nah, bro, you're bugging," and like. It was exactly like I just knew. I was cracking up the other day because I told my friend Bam, I was like, bro, y'all really put me through a 3-hour rebuke. Like it was literally like me getting rebuked for like 3 hours straight and like them just checking me and like that same principle. Like, bro, you got to realize like your wife is like, that's the church, like how Christ sees the church. You know what I'm saying? And they just started like knocking down. Same thing, like you playing devil's advocate, bro, and just knocking down every little thing I could think of. They would just knock it down. And just like my boy Bam always just says, bro, like it's about dying to your pride. And I think that's what marriage does. I think that's what dating does. That's what having that other person does. It forces you to die to your pride because you're so used to like defending yourself, trying to make an excuse for yourself, trying to do this, that, and the third. But when you're in a relationship that you're dating to marry or you're in marriage, it's like you're forced to like kill off that pride. And that your relationship can't flourish as long as there's pride.
And it's good to get like that sound advice, like you said, because I gotta shout out my boy Bobby.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? He was that person for me, and he's not of the faith. Even though like Isaiah, I heard him speak in the car one time, he just on a rant. But he's like, the Bible is real, bro. Let me tell you why. He goes, I don't care what that man say, he Christian. But like there would be points in my life where I was acting goofy and I was lying about certain things. This is prior to a relationship, but he helped me wean those things out because he would just like Ben would do for you in church, right? He would come out to be like, yo, Jay, why you lying? Yeah. And I would say to his face, like, bro, I ain't lying. He goes, Jay. He's like, you can't fool me, bro. He's like, my willpower, like, I know. Come on. Like, why are you lying? And then I realized, like, because I was asking, at that time period, I was asking God, like, give me some friends that are going to hold me accountable. Yeah. And I remember I looked at him in the gym and I was like, dog, like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, you really hold me accountable. And this is the very thing that I was praying for. And it's funny because, like, I had AirPods in my ear and I wasn't talking to Siri, nothing, right? And as I said that statement, I finished it. Siri was like, I can't even make it up, bro. Yo, I can't even make it up.
It was Siri now.
Yo, it's Siri. Like, it was just confirmation. It was like, God is weird. God is funny and weird at the same time. Because I said that and he was like, I was like, yo, Siri just confirmed. He goes, hallelujah. That's just Bobby. But he helped me. He helped me and like kind of stop lying. Because at one point I was a habitual liar. So for me
too.
Yeah, and it's annoying, honestly. So like when he helped me out of that, I was like, oh, like I'll just be true to myself. Like, and the true version of you, people will accept.
Yeah.
Like,
do y'all accept me though?
Yeah, of course I accept you. That's why I make fun of you. But yeah, the true version on your good days.
Your
Crazy.
good days. Wow.
The true version of you, people will accept.
All the time.
People will accept. And my boy Bobby, like he just accepts me for me. And he even said one time, he goes, usually I don't have patience for this. He's like, for you, for some reason I have an unlimited amount of patience. I don't even know why. But for you, I do. So, like me and him, I think we always had the understanding that, like we don't, it's not that we need each other, but we can break bread and be like, all right, you're good. Like I was good before you, I'm gonna be good after you. I'm gonna let you know that right now. Yeah. But the fact that we can break bread and sharpen one another, that's what makes our bond strong. Yeah.
And I'll say for me, y'all know, I'm a tough nut to crack sometimes. But for me in my singleness, I had too many people in my ear. She's laughing because she's had to yell at me multiple times. All of them have. But I'm very stubborn. I will admit that.
My God.
Hallelujah.
Say that again.
Say that for the people in the back, yo.
I'm very stubborn, as you can tell. And I had so many unrealistic... I'm growing, guys. I'm growing. I had very unrealistic idea and habits about dating. And every time I would tell them about these things...
That laugh is crazy.
Continue.
I still remember some of the nights where it would be like a 3-hour, just all of them bringing in different people to yell at me.
But who's going to the extreme?
Like, they were going to the extreme.
Like, y'all next, tag team.
Like, it was so crazy because, like, I would say something or, like, it was so unrealistic. Like, looking back, I will admit it was very unrealistic, but it was what I saw growing up. Like, I was raised by my grandmother. She's African, old school. And she's highly independent. It ended up, it was a blessing and a hindrance at the same time because I was so independent and so strong-headed. Like, I don't need no man. Like, remember we had the conversation like with the word need?
Yeah.
That lasted like a week. Actually was yelling at me in the car. I was like,
a man.
Now, that will linger in church too. Because they would tell me, I'm like, you don't need a man, right?
Literally, it was so like, they were always just, but I also had like my friends, also had friends who were gassing me, like encouraging me as well. While they were trying to break my mindset, I was so stubborn, but I also had people like tell me not to. So I was always going back and forth, like, who do I listen to? But like, because I wasn't listening to God. Like, let's be like realistic. I wasn't going to God with these things at all. So I was just like stuck. Like, do I listen to them? Are they correct, or do I listen to my friends who are telling me I'm correct? And it took so long for me to break those mindset. But I'll say, I didn't appreciate the yelling. I didn't appreciate the yellings. but I needed it. It did humble me a lot, and I have realistic standards for dating now. There's still some tiff there we're gonna discuss later on, but I appreciate them yelling at me. Like, I didn't like it. You never like correction, but I appreciate it in the long run because of you guys. I was able to have a healthy mindset when it comes to my future husband. You don't have to be 6 feet tall. They broke that out of me. I changed my mindset. I don't need a man. I'm an independent woman. I can do it all by myself. I realized I can't. They taught me that. It's okay to ask for help, Valerie. It doesn't mean you're weak.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that again. Still don't have to yell at me and have everyone join in. But to say all that is just to say, like, listen to the friends who are yelling at you and telling you you're wrong. Don't listen to the friend that's telling you you're right when you know deep down you're not right. So listen to the one that are yelling you and trying to stare you because they just want the best for you. They don't want you going to a Delulu land. So I'll say I appreciate that. And all of you, they said something about having people in their ear. Did you guys have like naysayers in your ears?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite a few.
A lot of people.
How did you rebuke them?
Well, it wasn't, but sorry if I cut you off.
No, you didn't cut me off. You're good.
The reason we dated
We'll
in
talk about that later.
private per se was to block out the naysayers.
That's crazy.
Take that out.
Don't spare,
No, keep it.
they say don't spare the rod.
The reason he brought up bringing dating in private was to block out the naysayers.
Yeah.
But clearly God didn't like our plan, and it blew up.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the naysayers coming in, that she used to do this, he used to do that. Like, it was just bringing up pasts.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we butted heads about it, but we already knew about those things because we talked about it.
Yeah.
We laid everything out.
Yeah.
This is what I did. This is what you did, and we'll bring it together. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But even then, like, it's still annoying when you have people chirping in your ear. You're like, bro, please, like,
Shut up.
shut your mouth. I understand. Like, I get where you're coming from, but I see him for him. I don't see him for what he was. I see him for the man he is now.
That's good.
And vice versa. But they're always gonna be there. Yeah. They're never gonna leave. You always have people that are gonna say something.
Yeah.
But it's just about being strong enough in your relationship, even friendships, being strong enough in that bond to know that you don't have to listen to those things. You can just be like, all right, cool. You have your opinions. You can keep them.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's my fault. I was holding the line over here. Like,
He forgot to hold on.
they had me busy like 24/7. No rest. Like, the contract was just
Bro, it's
crazy.
okay, bro. I ain't tell you about it. It's all right.
Overtime.
No, yeah, but like I think us being honest with one another helped with it. Like she said, with the naysayers. Like I was really just honest. Like this is what I did. I took accountability too. It's just like I was a jerk. Honestly, I had no business being in a relationship. I treated her terribly. Now looking back, like I should have never been in it to begin with. Right. And she would tell me vice versa. So like when people try to tell me like, hey, nah, that ain't a good look. Yeah. Like, nah, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that. Like I could have listened to them, or I could have been like, you know what, let me just step out on God and see what's up. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think like she said, like because what we would do is we would go out on walks. Mm-hmm. Like we would walk around the park and we would just talk. That's all. I mean, I thought that was the best thing, right? At first, we were going to movies, but then I realized we're not really talking. So we decided to go in the park, and we would just put all our cards on the table. Like, hey, this is what I did. Mm-hmm. I already know what you did, but this is what I did. Let me just add it. No shade, but I had a front row seat. No,
I knew you too.
I know, but I told you, right? So
I was on the sideline.
She was on the sideline. She was getting what are you saying?
I was getting information.
She was getting reports, scouting reports from other scouts.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
report.
But I knew she was the one for me when I found out she was defending me and how she was defending me.
Oh, period, girl.
Like just like she was like
sticking up for her man who not her man.
No. This time, I am her man at this point. I am her man at this point. But we're dating in private. We're dating in private. A lot of people came up with information to her mom, and she was like, nah, that's things he did in the past. But guess what? Those people, the same people who are talking about him, did you know they did X, Y, and Z? And she had no clue. So then she would be like, yeah, I love him for who he is now. We're getting to know each other who we are now. Like that was his past. Just like how he has a past, I got one too. That's cute. So, and he's loved me for me. So yeah.
I like that. It's beautiful. Guess make me feel very single this episode. You know I'm very single, guys. But it's okay. It's all good. So I want to pivot. I'm sorry.
Pivot.
Thank
Pivot.
you. Yes, they join in.
Pivot.
It's friends. You'll get it. See, friends. So I have a question for you guys. Yeah, he's so in.
No, go ahead, bro. Just go.
He's like in my corner. So I want to talk about something a little serious, you know, but also important when in like relationship as well. Did you during your conversation? Because so many people don't talk about these things. I think it's like taboo. But we're talking about sex, by the way, guys. Was that ever a conversation you guys ever talked about? Because again, I know you guys love story, but for you, Becca, was that something you brought up, like while you guys were dating, like a conversation, like, hey, have you done this? Have you done that? Hey, I've done this. I have done that. Was that a challenging conversation for you guys?
I would say no, because I think we talked about it while we were friends still. Okay. Because I was saving myself. Or still am saving myself.
I was.
Yeah, still am.
You favorite cut that out?
Still am saving myself. Yeah. But I think we brought that up when we were friends, like just getting to know each other. We would talk for hours and hours. So that was actually one of the conversations, and we were very open. Because even though at the time I didn't like him, we would talk about what we were looking for in our partners. And to me, everyone has this like unrealistic, if you're a woman of God, you need to find a virgin. Like that's not realistic anymore.
I had that.
So yeah. But like I wasn't looking for a virgin. I wasn't looking for someone who's just pure. Like that was never what I was looking for. Because again, we walk around with so many flaws. Yeah. And in today's society, if you're not having sex, then you're whack.
You're weirdo.
So like it's not realistic to look for that. So for us, it was more so casual. And he shared with me, or you could share how God worked with him on those things and prepped him on those things so that when we did get together, we vowed, I think it was the day we made it official. The day we made it official, like, we're not going to have sex. We're not going to cross that line until we get to marriage.
That's tough.
Yeah.
For you guys, who was in previous relationship, how was that relationship, like coming in, like be together now, like knowing this is like the woman of God and this is the man of God, but you knew they had a sexual past. Did that play a role in your relationship, knowing their partners and who they were with?
It did.
Okay.
It played a part, I would say.
Like negatively?
And yeah, negatively. It did play a part. That's many of the reasons why I rejected her. Okay. But it also helped us to step forward, if you will. You know, being honest with who we were with and stuff of that nature. But it, you know, kudos to Becca for being a virgin, because I usually tell people all the time, like, I wish I never had sex, because it would have saved me a lot of trouble from a lot of people and a lot of relationships I had no business being in. But because I thought, like I said, I thought with the wrong head, I wanted what I wanted and I got it. Yeah. So like for us, that kind of hindered us in the sense of like, all right, you were with this person. I don't know if I can, you know, I don't know if I can rock this, you know what I mean? And then vice versa. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. And that's what caused my trust issue with her. I was like, I had a front row seat. So I'm just like, I don't think this is going to work, yo, really. Yeah. Like, I really was pushing back hard. Yeah. So when she was shooting her shot, though, I will give her credit for that. She was shooting her shot like Steph Curry. So unlimited range, yo. Unlimited range. And she finally shot from the logo. That junk went in.
Good job.
But yeah, like,
it wasn't working.
Yeah, it wasn't working. She's like, I got to try again. Like, she was doing bad in the first half. In the second half, she just turned up, right?
That's good.
But yeah, that kind of hindered us in a way. But like, once we knew it was just us, we knew like we were going to do this thing. We decided like, hey, like, let's not have sex. It was the hardest thing possible. And sometimes did we fall into temptation? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. Yeah. But we had to get to a point where it's just like, all right, if we're going to watch movies together, let's watch it around people. If, you know, like, you know, I'll be so serious.
And they will fall asleep.
You know, fall asleep. Yeah.
Fall asleep.
Because sometimes I would look at her like, you look good, girl. You know, I started racing. My mouth started racing.
Yeah, that's good, though.
No, I was like, yo, you look good, yo. I'll be trying to kiss her different, right? And like, it be me. It be my fault.
It was the man's fault. It was the man's fault.
No,
she planted the seed.
I was just watering it.
Then they want to blame you, talking about why you look like that.
And sometimes that would be my question. I'm like, yo, who you looking good for? Why you looking like that? Wear some baggy sweats or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Even then,
I'm like, yo, you look so good.
It's the men's fault.
So like we were trying to find like ways to trick ourselves because it was tough. Like, like I was just like, I don't know how we gonna do this, yo. Like and then my thought was like, yo, if we do this thing and we have a baby by mistake, that was the biggest fear of mine. I never want to have a child of wedlock, and I know it's a prayer that my mom has always said that my children will not have children out of wedlock.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, just like the risk ain't worth it. Sometimes I thought the risk was, and I was like, I'm ready to risk it all, baby. I'm being real, man. This is my thought.
Nobody really thinks of that, especially if we're previously sexually active. You have a past, but like you open that gate already. So it's like, how do you shut something that was so part of your life, even though you're trying to walk this walk with Christ?
And it's tough, it's tough too, because then you start like, you start trying to compromise in your head. Like, all right, we don't have to do that, but can we do other stuff?
Right.
Like, we really start like going down that rabbit hole. Like, can I touch you here? Can I touch you there? What? Ain't nothing happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but what does that lead to?
Yeah.
You know that. What would that lead to? Right. So like, so you start compromising. I really had to deal with myself in certain aspects because I wanted what I wanted.
Yeah.
So like, that's the part that kind of hurt me. And I would communicate to them like, yo, we would come up with different code names too.
It's true.
Yeah, we come up with different code names too. But I'm like, yo, you trying? What's up?
People are like, we could call it this. I'm like, call it what?
We call it this. We just do whatever. And I was just like, yo, if I'm trying to take her serious, right? If I'm trying to do this thing, like, let's just commit to each other right now that we just not going. Like we can. And it became even more refreshing because I remember she was just like. I remember you had stated that, like, this is so refreshing because that's not all you want from me. We're actually having a relationship. Where a previous relationship, that's all he kind of wanted. So it made it better in that aspect. And we were able to get to know each other besides that. Be intimate besides that. I wasn't intimate for her physicality. I was intimate for her intelligence. Like, how does your mind think? Like, how do you move? Like, and stuff of that nature. So that definitely opened the pathway in that, right? I would say. Because I think
you can chime in after he's done.
Go ahead. You can. I'm done.
Yeah. What was your POV?
That was rough. It was rough, but it like I said, like he was more interested in who I was and not my body.
That's good.
Versus like other relationships where they were more interested in what I looked like and other things, and that's all they wanted, just to hang out, just to do that. And I would fall for it every single time, faithfully. Yeah. And then obviously he was in the front row, and one I fell for quite a few times, and just kept going back to it because it was attention. Yeah. Right. And I had to break out of that mentality of attention. Like, no, we're not gonna do this. Like he was saying, if we were gonna do this, we have to do it right. You have to value yourself first, because if you don't value you, how's anybody else gonna value you?
Yeah.
So getting into this relationship about sex, was something that was big for me since I lost my virginity at a very young age, forcefully. Kind of, not really. More so, I was afraid to do it, and it progressed even further than it should have. But because of that, and because I was exposed to things at such a young age, sex just became a big, something I was very interested in, and something that I would always run to as kind of a Band-Aid and I felt nothing for it. It was just something that I did. Yeah. Like, it was nothing that, because, I really like him. Like, if we're going to be real about it. And then when I got into my last relationships before Jeremiah, I had gotten caught. And I had a very long conversation. Sorry, Mommy. I had a very long conversation with my mom. She's like, well, I know obviously it's not your sister, because my sister, had a baby at the time. Yeah. She found something in the bathroom downstairs. What possessed her to go through the garbage? I have no idea.
The Lord.
Yeah,
the Lord.
The Spirit. Holy Spirit.
And just having that conversation with her from there on, I was like, yeah, I can't do this no more. Yeah. And then, like you said, you do something for so long and then you take it away. My ex was like, how dare you? The audacity of you trying to take something that, you've already given me. I'm like, no, but I don't think you understand. Do you not feel conviction? We had a whole conversation about it. Do you not feel that? That little gut-wrenching feeling? Literally, yeah. But, of course, you're unevenly yoked, so he's not going to understand. But then coming into this relationship, you think about that, right? like with anybody, it's a natural instinct. This is something that you're going to think about. It was just hard to try to block that out.
Yeah.
And we would just occupy our minds with different things and have conversations about it. It's okay to talk. Yeah. Like, you can talk, but not let it lead up to... And I'm not talking about, like, nasty conversations, like talking on the phone like that. Ooh. But meaning, like, expressing, like, how you feel. And then diverting it elsewhere.
I think what also, like...
A lot of walking.
A lot of walking. Can't do nothing out there.
You look good.
Yo, mad people.
I didn't break that.
I think what also helped me, I don't know about for her, I remember Pastor Rick came in January, or January of last year, I believe it was, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, you're going to be a father to many. And he said it to the whole church. And I remember... Bro, hey, I got so scared, yo. I don't know if y'all remember, because he was like, yo, it's gonna be so cool. You're gonna have a bunch of kids, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, and I'm looking at my mom, I'm like, I'm just trying to confirm, because like my mom, like, she's like, my dad does too, but my dad's more so the type of like, you're gonna make your own mistakes, make the mistakes, and then I'll have to give you my input when needed. Yeah. My mom's more so like, she on top of me. So like, my mom, I remember she pulled me to the side. She's like, yo, she go, yo, hey, we gotta talk. Anytime my mom texts her, I'm like, what I do? Heart attack. I'm like, what I do? How'd it happen? Like, I'm trying to dot my I's, cross my T's, yo. So I'm trying to avoid my mom. Yeah. Like, to no extent, right? And then she finally catches me. She come on, let's go for a ride. And I'm like, oh no. So we get into a car. She goes, I know you're doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm just like. Like a bad dog. Like, you do this? And he's like, no. So she's like, you gonna speak? She's like, you gonna speak? I'm like,
father to me.
Yeah, she like, you like, I know you've been X, Y, and Z. Jeremiah, this needs to change. I'm like,
what are you talking about?
And then I finally admit to her, like, yeah, this is what I've been doing. Yeah. Like, this is how I've been doing it. And my mom knows, man. Like,
them the sermon?
Please, mother's discernment.
This one.
Yeah, that's where she get it from.
Bro,
she's probably gonna be worse, but like my mom would tell me about.
Watch out, baby. Watch out.
Just text you, hey.
No. Like, her discernment is so. I was just telling. It freaks me out. Like, what are you doing? Mind your business.
You know, mom. Like, she definitely get it from my mom, because my mom be on point. Every relationship I've been in, she either told me, this ain't gonna work," or I know what happened. Yeah. Mind you, I don't talk to my mom about relationships. I'm like, how you know? Holy Spirit. Just and I think at one time I looked at the Holy Spirit, I was looking at God, I was like, stop. Yo, relax. Like, let me do me. Right. But when Pastor Rick was like, yeah, you're going to be a father to many, I'm like, oh my God. He's like, God, please. After I'm like, yo, please. In my mind, I don't think I ever conveyed that to her. In my mind, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm straight. Yo, this ain't going to happen. Now on my watch. I was like, yo, daytime. Daytime, bro. Daytime. Like, no, I'm good, yo. This ain't gonna happen. Nah, I can't let this happen. I can't let this happen.
But now that married, guys, all the babies can happen.
Yeah.
Father many.
Straight worship.
No conviction.
No conviction. Hallelujah.
No, cut it.
I was trying. I'm sorry.
So, for us virgins, but I can't speak on this because I haven't been in a relationship. Was it hard for you? Like, I know, because it's always weird, because when you're in a relationship as a virgin, it's like, it's easy. Like, there's no temptation, there's no thought. Like, you don't got nobody. Me. But for you, who was in a relationship, like, with David, was that hard for you?
I would say no, but only because I think God just protected both of us. Yeah. Before, I think it was a year before we got together, right? Mm-hmm. A year before we got together, he decided to be abstinent. And that's what he was saying. I believe God did that to prep me for you.
Oh, that was actually, that was right? September 12th, 2017.
Oh, he remembered the day.
God, so I think in God doing that, it helped not only him, but me. Mm. Although, yes, I didn't open that door, but he was respectful enough to not even try to get me to open the door.
Good job, brother.
So, yeah.
Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord.
For real. So I think God really had my back with that one. But even with vowing and everything, there's still going to be temptation. It's like what Nikki said last week. She's like, why are you kissing?
Why you in the
like anything could lead up to it. Like, there'd still be temptation. But I honestly think, like, by the grace of God, if it wasn't for him prepping him for me, I probably would have had more of a struggle. Yeah. But I feel like once you find the right one who you are equally yoked with, but also shares the same values as far as relationship with Christ, it causes you to be more comfortable with them and not have to worry about the worldly things of, are you really going to tempt me?
That's good.
Yeah. So I think that's why it's always important to find that man of God, if that's how you want to put it. But whether you find that man of God or not, you're still going to struggle.
Yeah, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I like that. You wanna share anything, sir?
What's your question?
Just in general, like based on what you've listened to, is there anything you want to share? Anything? Put your 2 cents into?
I'll say it's definitely a struggle. Because like many times, like even when it get brought up in like getting to know the person and everything, like that's one like the main question that get brought up, like are you sexually active or with your body count and stuff like that. And like most times, like if they ask me, "Oh, what's that question?" Like,
You telling me in the Old Testament?
no.
Old Testament.
They would ask me, like, are you saving yourself? Because like they know the background, like I'm Christian and everything. So they would be like, are you saving yourself, or like it's like. And I like most time I'll just put it in their hands. I was like, it's up to you. Like,
It's crazy.
no, I ain't gonna lie. Like,
So bad.
yeah.
I mean, hey.
Because like
I'm told not to, but
Like
no, because there was one like it was easy, like both of us like work on it. Then like the other one is like, all right, like we both like doing the same thing. So it was like it was easy both ways. So most times I was just like, it's basically up to you. Like I'll go whatever route you want to go to, but that's wrong. That's don't do
it's
that.
definitely wrong. Don't do that.
Has your mindset changed now?
No, of course, most
Okay.
definitely. Like I said, around this time last year, in April last year, that's when I really made up my mind. I was like, no more, because it was not getting me anywhere too.
Yeah.
And like learn about like generational curses and all that, and I feel like having that conversation with her really like changed a lot. Like. I'm gonna just go in detail. Basically, it was one night we was gonna do it, but then we stopped, and I was like, "Yo, what we doing?" Basically, then that's when she got up and she was like, "What you trying to do?" Basically, like, do you want to go out with me? Blah 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 and stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, I'll go out with you, but like, could you go to church?" Like, because she didn't really I don't know her background of like her like religion, where like how she grew up and all that, but like when it came to like religion, when we was talking as friends, like it never really got brought up. I'll bring it up most times. She had no problem like say nothing to say to it. But this time, like, she had to say something. So once I brought it up, I was like, "Yo, like, are you willing to go to church and stuff like that?" And it was just a strong no. So, and that's why it just hurt. Like, it hurt me, and also like convicted me. I was like, "Yeah, like this is not it, like at all." Like that was one of like the red flags. It was like, bro, like just let it go. Like anymore, like you're just gonna be hurting yourself at that point.
Yeah.
And like. And this was one of them where like we was like close as friends, like this, and like I really wanted to take it to the next level, but after hearing that no and everything, and like at that moment I was like, yeah, like we can't like move forward with this, basically, and just move forward from that, and just like basically just having a strong mindset of like, yeah, God, you my foundation, everything. Like I'm gonna let you do your thing. Like from here on out, like my hands is not
Smart.
in it.
Smart.
You feel me?
That's smart, yo.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Well, you guys are giving me so much tips. But I couldn't end this episode without addressing Jeremiah's beef. From our last episode.
Oh yeah, I got beef and chicken.
Fucking out.
Yeah. No.
I got beef and chicken.
No,
I was never part of this.
No, she was not part of this, but I need you to be part of it now.
I'll listen.
No, I'm gonna need you a part of it now. So, It's a topic of submission.
Now hold on. I'm gonna do it like how I don't know if you're familiar with Charlie Kirk, but he's good at debating. But he's a Christian debater. He was
I'm
also
not
politics.
debating with you.
No. But I'm saying like let's clarify terms. That's what he would normally say, right?
Yeah.
He would say
Yep.
let's clarify
That's great.
terms because
That's
everybody
great.
has their own definition of
That's
something.
great, bro.
Right?
Right.
Let's clarify terms. Submission. I think the world looks at submission as I'm the man, you're the woman, you do what I say.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you speak when I tell you to speak, you do my laundry when I tell you to do my laundry, you cook when I tell you to cook. That is wrong.
I mean,
No trolling.
It's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. When you submit to each other, right? And you shouldn't submit to just anybody. Let's just make that very vividly clear.
Husband.
You submit. You should not just submit to anybody. It should be your husband or your spouse, your wife. Okay, not other wife, but your wife or husband. Okay, let's make that very clear. So like you shouldn't throw that around loosely. The context here is right. I think you stated you're not submitting to your man, right? Rightfully so.
I'm not submitting to a boyfriend or a
And
fiance.
let's stay right there.
Right.
Let's pause right there.
Right.
That is accurate. You should not submit to your significant other. I'm talking about just dating.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they can get up and leave and stuff of that nature. They should not either get husband or wife privileges.
Right.
Whatsoever. Okay? In this context, and the reason I have beef with you, and we spoke about it a little bit Wednesday, is because
see the beef.
we presented you with a theory. Not a theory.
Very logical.
Theoretical.
A hypothetical. Thank you.
that's
A
the word.
hypothetical, right?
Right.
We said, what if God said, this is your man. This is the man to be, the man that have you for the rest of your life. This is your husband.
Yeah.
Right. And I stated amongst these men, right,
There's many of them.
and amongst some young adults that were here that are not here now, I said you can practice, right?
Okay.
And
I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. I'm not done, but go ahead.
You gonna let
it's
you finish.
okay.
No,
Spicy.
explain. What are you practicing?
So, what does your question relate to that?
Yeah, like you.
Okay,
when you
go ahead.
said-
Ask the question.
You were saying practice. I just wanted to let you expand
Okay.
on like practice submit. Like what do you practice?
You want to
submission?
inject? Okay, go interject.
How do you practice that? Obviously, because clearly, if you don't learn how to submit before this, there's no way you're gonna get into a marriage and be able to do it just willingly. Now, I'm not saying like if he's just my boyfriend, am I gonna submit to him? No, but obviously, I knew I was marrying him. I knew it already. We both knew. We both got confirmation in private and in public. But just, I'm not his slave. I'm his helper.
Okay.
So that's what submission is.
Yeah.
I'm trusting the God in him.
Right.
I'm trusting his leadership. But also on the interim, I hear from God too. So we submit to each other. It's not just
part.
it's not
That
one-sided.
part.
That's what I want.
So what you do is you just learn to trust each other. Learn to trust the God in each other. In dating, we did that. And when I was his fiance, I did the same thing. And as his wife, I continue to do that. It's not me being his slave. Obviously I cook for him, clearly. But we could do it together. Like these are things that you can do together. He does everything by himself. Like literally everything. Does his laundry, folds.
You hear that, Axel? He's an independent man.
He's an independent. He's independent, but it's like a silly example. But I have no problem helping him. I helped him fold his laundry yesterday. Not saying that that's a form of submission. It's not. But
But
like
let's do context. Yeah, she just does it eloquently. I was like, teach me, please.
he's like, teach me how to fold my t-shirts. I'm like, what?
She told him.
Because like
always teaching
she
him.
would do it this way. Like I always have my own way of folding clothes.
Right.
I'm a habitual creature. So like I like things a certain way. But then I saw how she did it, and it was just like, how you do that again? It should show me to do that again.
In the room
Yo,
yesterday.
and I started
He's
doing
like, do it
it.
again. I'm like, you fold it like this, and you do it. He's like, no, slow.
So then I started doing. I was like, ooh.
He's like, let me do the next one by myself.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Everything's like, ha.
The
But-
point
yeah, go ahead.
is if I can't trust his judgment and trust how, God speaks to him and how he leads, how am I supposed to do that as his wife?
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to sit there and be like, you sure you heard from God? Like,
That's what.
that's what it is. It's how you practice that.
Okay.
It's good to practice it.
And,
No.
and there's different levels too. I don't want to
yeah, there's
interrupt you, but
different-
there's different levels too because
You could
I want to
elaborate.
make very clear.
Yeah.
Like we knew, like she said, in private and in public that we were meant for each other. So it was easy for her to say, all right, like I'm going to submit to you. And it was easy for me to say, I'm going to submit to you too. But she wasn't cooking for me right away. She wasn't. No. This is what the world views. This is what the world views. Like, she wasn't cooking for me right away. I wasn't telling her what to do or something like that. Right.
I wasn't laying out a red carpet for her.
No. It was just more so like her saying, I trust you to lead. And it was more so me saying, like, I trust you in helping me. You know what I mean? That was my submission to her, and that was her submission to me. So, like, if I can give you an analogy, it's like a gym membership, and we talked about this Wednesday. There's the regular membership, and then there's VIP access, right? So I have a regular membership where I can only go to one spot, right? I can only have certain perks. And this was the certain perks we had when we were engaged. But once we crossed that threshold and we got married, now I had VIP access where she could cook for me. She could do my laundry if I want her to. She doesn't, by the way. I do my own. Like, there's certain things that I have now, husband privileges, that I didn't have when we were just engaged. You know what I mean? So now it's just
I'm really
like...
mad at y'all heifers.
Wait, why?
Because this was not the argument when they were yelling at me for 2 hours in young adults.
No, the argument was I thought you gave it to Nikki in the wrong context.
No,
like,
I just said I'm not submitting to, like, at all. If you're my boyfriend, I'm not submitting, regardless of the cooking. And, like, I didn't mean like the cooking. I was never doing that. I don't.
Yeah. Obviously, you're never gonna cook for your husband either, but we know that.
The little pot.
Whoa, he's gonna be with that.
You said he's gonna starve.
Remember, Axel? I said I was gonna cook for him.
No. Didn't she say like a small pot of rice?
And it's supposed to last him a week. You know?
Literally, like,
He's supposed to eat rations.
She said her kids were gonna eat better than her man.
The man's gonna be wed. Like, whoever you are, don't get discouraged. You will be well.
Don't get discouraged.
Okay.
We praying for you, my brother.
Yeah, we praying hard, yo.
I told you last episode. This is your praying people. They got you covered.
Yeah, cutting fours.
They got you covered. But no, in the argument, you guys were coming down my throat, bro. Y'all got me tight. Like, I was heated because you're like, nah, you gotta practice. How you gonna know how to submit if you're not practicing? My mind says when it comes to submitting. It's either you submit or you don't. And you mentioned it already now. I like how everyone got wisdom all of a sudden, but then he has it, then love
I said
that
the
for
same
you.
thing.
No, you did not, Natalie.
I was there for that. I said the same thing.
No, she did not. I have memories. But no.
A bad one.
Proverbs 31.
We're not out here quoting scripture.
Scripture.
No, because I promise I was so tight. Becca she checked out. I don't know why she did that.
She was
checked out now.
She was in the storage room. She was in the storage room.
No, she was in the back and she came out like, Becca, help me. She's like, I can't.
I was like, I don't know what y'all talking about.
So my thing is, everyone was coming at me and talking about, oh, you have to do this and this and this and this. And my thing is, granted, you guys got confirmation. That's good. But my whole thing is either, I don't like the word practice because you can't practice submission. What you can do is, like, you can learn in your single season. Like, you have to be in your word to trust, because it said a man leads his wife closer to God. Women, what you can do is not practice, but like learn. It's like you have to learn discernment to trust that your man's gonna lead you the right way. Because you can't just submit willy-nilly. Like, you have, like, let's say you're submitting to your husband. Granted, he's a man of God. Like, but what if he's steering you wrong? You need to have that discernment beforehand to trust that he's leading you to God. And even then, I heard this in a podcast where this couple, she was like, thank you for being a man worthy of submission. And I like that, because even though she wasn't submitting yet, but she saw the characteristics of why she can submit to him. He was showing her the things that a man of God, a man of standard should be. And she's like, I can't wait to marry you and be able to completely submit to you, because I can trust that you will be leading me to what God wants me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying, like, because you can't really practice submission. It's like you say, you just submit.
I'm just speaking from a perspective that I already know him as a person. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that anybody could just go and willy-nilly be like, hey, I'm going to practice submitting to you. Obviously, you learn as you go.
Yeah, that's not.
But you still, while even in the learning, there's the doing part too. Like, you can't, like, for example, if I didn't do that, right?
Do what?
Meaning, like, I won't use the word practice. Learn how to submit underneath him, but practice, it's still like the same. It's the same. Same thing. Same word. If I didn't do that and I'm going under basically his covering, per se, for lack of better words, how am I supposed to follow his lead if I didn't do that before? Then I'm kind of lost, and now I got to learn as a wife. But I could have already knew as a wife had I practiced before, or had I learned in that process. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, had I not learned, on the way.
Right.
Now being a wife, it's not hard for me to follow his lead.
Now, this is under the umbrella that, again, falls under the, what's the word I'm thinking about again? Theoretical, thank you. Hypothetical. The hypothetical, right? It's under the hypothetical that, again, God confirmed.
Yes.
Right? So, like,
Yes.
and here's how you even go deeper, especially, like, y'all thinking about marriage and stuff like that, later in the future, of course. You have to ask the raw questions.
Right.
Like, do you have mental health issues in your home? Are you terrible with your finances? Do you steward your time well? Do you start doing these things? And if you don't, okay, cool. Let's put it on the table. Again, we're under the umbrella that this is God ordained, and He's confirmed.
No,
He
we're
stamped
saying
it.
this is God
Yeah, this is where
not
yeah.
just the
I just want to make sure.
dating.
Okay,
Yeah, this is like Christian
just clarity.
like,
yeah,
rich
like
Christian
this
dating.
is what it is. Because even people who are together in the church,
Yeah.
sometimes they're not ordained.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because somebody's saved, it doesn't mean they're meant for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade a spade, right?
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying, like, submitting, knowing God stamped it. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Right.
it.
Yeah.
And for us, God stamped it. So it's easy to ask those questions, but like, all right, cool. What can you, I got wisdom from my parents, of course, and her too. I was like, what can we give each other in the interim to learn? Won't say practice, but to learn. Right? Like, I remember she was like, oh, we started saving together, actually. We started saving together as far as like, all right, maybe we should open a bank account together and do this. And I was a little hesitant at first because it's like you said, like, oh, well, the world paints this picture that, like, oh, well, submission and stuff like that. For me, I just wanted to make sure I did my homework. I didn't want to take advantage of her and that she's putting money into a bank account that could possibly touch. You know what I mean? Like, no, I didn't want to think that way. So I asked my mom, is that a good idea? She's like, no, that's a great idea because it's establishing trust. And it's also saying that I'm committed. We're doing this thing, you know what I mean? Wholeheartedly. And that's a form of submission. Believe it or not, it is a form of submission because I'm letting you tap into my money and vice versa. And it's not like we were spending that money. We made it very clear. This is for our future. This is for our future wedding. This is what we're going to do. But that's a form of submission. You understand what I'm saying? Now, outside of that umbrella, don't just give it to anybody.
Right.
Because people can really abuse you. And especially, and I tell her all the time, you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So if you're giving submission right off rip on the first date, you're bugging. I'm sorry. You should not be dating whatsoever. But if you understand like what it requires, and I feel like people don't know what dating actually is.
Should have had this wisdom then, sir.
Well, also, I was learning in my process too. It wasn't like I was married then. I was just engaged. I had no idea what to look like. I mean, what to look
through
for.
development too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've learned. So now I'm bestowing wisdom. You know what's funny? You should have been bestowing wisdom upon me.
Shush! Don't do it. Don't do
Okay,
it.
all right. Well, anyway, now I have the wisdom. I'm passing it down. But this is what like learning to be in submission is. Like that's a learning process, submitting, and it's not. Yeah, not because I just wanted to be clear. Like,
he came at me yelling at me. I was like, "You was wrong. I got
because I'm listening to this episode. I'm like, yo, this episode fire, and she's like, I got a debate. So
No. Let me give y'all a backstory. When I tell
Here
you,
we go, yo.
they were coming at me, guys. They were coming at my neck.
Not me.
No, she wasn't there. But I'm gonna flip on y'all. You've been too silent with the submission topic. I don't like that. So like,
Because I'm listening.
no.
I wasn't part of it.
No, you're gonna be part of it now. You've been too silent. I need to hear your wisdom.
I think we clarified it.
No, I want to hear there. Like, are you?
Yo, listen. When they repeat after me,
That's fine.
Like literally.
That's fine. Are you learning how to submit in this process? Have you practiced some form of submission?
Yeah, I don't like that word either, practice.
Thank you.
But it's the same.
It's just like you can't practice
When you
submission.
You know why
practice
though? Because I feel like the world, I guess, or society, however you want to say it, has taken submission and made it so secular.
perverted.
Yeah,
It's
they've
perverted.
tainted it. That's
So
why it's
now
hard.
to them, they have to practice it.
Right.
Compared to if we're talking spiritual submission, there is no practicing. It's all a matter of can you trust and have that discernment that your partner is being led by God.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you intertwine the two within the same conversation, it's like you're not going to get anywhere.
That's why I hate that word practice.
All right.
We gonna
But
see.
learn
Well,
it.
I think it's
Relearn.
I think what the learning aspect or practicing aspect would be trusting your partner.
Yeah.
Or if, okay, you know this is your partner, you know this is the one, but we have trust issues, that's where the practice comes in of let me try to, practice trusting you again. Let me start up earning your trust, vice versa. Like, let's do something, whether it's counseling, whatever, so that when the time comes, I'm not gonna, you're not gonna tell me God told you something. I'm questioning, is that God or is that you? And now my trust issues are really with God because I never healed from trusting you. So I need to practice trusting you for who God created you to be,
That's good.
so that I can submit when we get married.
That's good.
But that's the stuff you talk about at surface level, though. You know what I mean? Even in the midst of certain things, and I agree with her, in the midst of certain things, like, obviously you want to question those things before you ever get to the engagement part.
Right,
I hope you speak about a lot of these, just have a lot of discussions before you even get engaged.
Right.
Because when you're giving a ring for engagement, you're saying, yeah, that's it. Like, I'm accepting you and your flaws. That's questions. If I got to question your trust, I have to know that beforehand before I give you a ring.
Right.
Like, don't ever think I'm going to give you a ring and then try to figure that out afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, it has to be questions before. But, you know, like, learning after, like, during that time period, being engaged, like, I want to learn to be with you. I want to learn to, like, what can you work? What can I work? And how can we put our own flavors on the table? And how can we coincide? You're great at finances. I'm willing to submit that and give that to you. And I think, like, Becca brought up a good point. Like, the world has taken, like, so many things and perverted it.
They really have ruined everything.
So when you try to take it in Christian context, you're just like you like your
the
point.
bad thing.
Yeah, like I'm some man. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing this. I ain't doing that. I ain't cleaning nobody's drawers. I'm an independent one. Please, dog, please. Because at the end of the day,
I'm gonna wash your laundry, boo.
you could be listen.
married.
You could be an independent woman.
Matthew.
You could be an independent woman, but like what happens with that attitude is like now you try to be the leader of your home.
Yeah, I had to
That's
learn
not
the
biblical.
hard way.
It's not biblical. You can't lead your home. Like obviously, if you're a single parent, it's a different story. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
But you can't go into it like, oh no, I'm the leader of our house. It's not gonna work. I'm sorry. It's just not. Like you gotta entrust the man. They call the man.
We've broken that mindset, okay?
No. I'm listening.
They call the man the head of the house already. And let me just give you perspective. Like when I became, the man in our relationship, right, the leader in our relationship, I felt so much pressure because now I have to lead not only myself but her.
Yeah.
And I have to do it with wisdom, and I have to, see God and be on my face every day and like pray to him, make sure I'm making the right decisions for both of us. Yeah. There's so much pressure in that, which if a woman tries to step in that role, you are gonna buckle. It is what it is. Like there's no shade. It's genuinely no shade. You just weren't designed to lead in that aspect.
Yeah.
I know phenomenal women who are leaders. My mom's a phenomenal leader. Becca, phenomenal leader. Vanessa, phenomenal leader. But when it comes to a household, it's the man that leads. Mm-hmm. And it's the man that, you have to trust, like, baby, I'm rocking behind you no matter what you decide, this, that, and the third. So, and again, this is not, I don't want, like, the world to see this video like, oh, he wrong. It's not I think they have a perverted perspective, but a Christian perspective, a biblical perspective. I am meant to lead this house.
Yeah. A man leads his wife. He leads the church. A scripture, Paul said. So I've gotten a lot of wisdom, guys. I've grown. I'll say that. My independent mindset has gotten shaken when I had to build a desk and I realized I do need a man.
That's crazy.
That was hard for you.
No, that was so hard for me. When God's like, I'm mad he used a desk to like do it. He could have just told me. But like he used a lot last year to humble me like, you're not independent, woman. You're gonna need a man to lead you. I'm like, okay.
Axel
I can't
confirmed
stand Axel. Because he was when I tell you Axel was like pissed at me so many like insomnia nights, he's like, Valerie, you need to change. No man's gonna want this. I'm like,
you planted the seed.
Yeah.
And then you went to water it.
I water it too much.
I was like, nah, I'm an independent woman. I'm cooking myself and do whatever I want. Like we've changed. So I appreciate both wisdom about submission because you're always learning. You have to trust that your man is going to lead you correctly, respectfully. Like it makes sense. So yes, you can learn how to speak. You can learn how to submit, guys.
Both sides,
men and women. Because honestly, you have to trust that whenever the man proposes, like it's God's timing. You have to like know like he's proposing because God's told him he can't. You can't just be like, oh, I don't know, God, I don't think this is right. But he's like, I heard from God. But like, I don't, like she said, it's disrespecting God. It's like not trusting God. Yeah. So I got more learning to do, I guess.
God timing, and like Becca said, make sure he bears fruit. And not only her, but him. Yeah, him and her.
Yeah. Okay? Heavy on the bear fruit, especially.
Bearing fruit, like, because their fruit is going to tell you a lot about themselves.
Literally. Yeah. So it's very important. But I appreciate this conversation. I'm always learning with you guys. Oh, I didn't mention this in the first episode. Guys, this is how Val's Corner was birthed, except for Axel. He wasn't there. But he wasn't there at the time. He was working.
Because I had Axe corners.
No, but like we started like me asking them a question in her basement. And them two was there and you guys were there and was literally asking you guys a relationship question. And I was like, we'll actually do this more. And that's how Val's Corner literally birthed.
That's crazy.
So this is like the original people plus Axel. But hi guys, that's not good.
Wow.
Wow.
You could ask.
Yeah,
You
I
could.
told you
He was
I'm
fighting.
my
He was
own
fighting.
corner.
Yeah.
He would not have a podcast.
So we get royalties or how's that work?
Yeah.
Talk to the Lord about that.
Percentage.
But nah, they prepared me for this. Oh my God, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate your wisdom to share your stories. And for whoever is out there dating, single, dating to marry Christians people, and then those who are married, I hope you learn from their stories. And at the end of the day, it's very important to have God at the center of anything in your singleness, when you're dating, especially when you're married. Because when I heard all the advice I've heard about marriage is hard. It ain't easy. So just lean on God, trust Him, and have good counsel. Don't be like David ex boo boo friends who are over here trying to cause division while Axel's over here fighting. Like, get friends.
Straight war, yo.
Literally.
David, I'm tired.
Seriously, get friends who's gonna fight for you, hold the line, and trust your union. Your union is from God. You need people also, even like Dana or whatever. You need good friends pouring into you as well. That is very important. Not those boo boo be like, y'all gonna break up. She cheating. No, you don't want that. But like, have someone holding the lines for you, blocking women left and right, causing insecurities left and right.
That's the next episode.
Yeah, but I really hope this episode bless you guys, and just remember to trust God and go to Him for everything in your singleness, dating, whatever it is. God is the answer, and He will lead you the right way. So don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, shout out from Speaking Life Podcast.
Yeah. Shout out to my mom, Pastor Liz.
Yes, Pastor, best woman ever. And also, thank you to my amazing producer, Vanessa Films. I'll say this again, you guys can borrow her talents, you can't keep her. She's amazing. If you need videography, podcast, whatever it is, she is amazing. Also, if you are looking for a home church, come to Hope Worship Center. We are truly a place for everyone.
Absolutely.
Very welcoming. We're all members.
Yes.
We have the best pastor who are honest and real and are actually preaching the word of God and want you to grow. Yeah. And we're just great. We're a really great church. We're biased, right? But Hope is great, right?
Hope is phenomenal.
Yeah, just
Place for everyone. That's it. Exactly it.
so if you need a home church, come to Hope. Amen. So I'll see you guys next episode. Have a great day. Say bye, guys.
Bye.